possession that I have not read. Well, I did read I read 2 of the 5 books I'm presenting to you today. But look, listen. I'll explain why I have these books and why I haven't gotten to reading them, but I just wanted to share one of I think one of my favorite books of all time. I think the one book I don't like, okay, one of my favorite books, definitely, if I had to put it out there, I mostly read when I was in school, so I guess from this pile, I'm missing Fahrenheit 451 and A Wrinkle in Time. I know, it's school books I had to read. Also, To Kill a Mockingbird's a really, really good book that I read while in school. Those are the 3 books I just don't have in my possession right now. But I'm going to show you the books that I do have in my possession. So, the first book is Arsène Lupin, Gentleman Burglar. As you know, in my gift video, I was gifted the entire series. And this is the first book in the series. Now, I haven't finished reading it yet because I have maybe ADHD. I've been going through a lot of mental health crisis, so I just haven't really done much of the hobbies that I really like doing. For example, one of them is reading, but whenever I read, I have to read the lines 20 times. I just have to read the one sentence. It just doesn't stick until it's I've read it 30 times. So. Let's read what's on the back. Pitied as the Sherlock Holmes of crime, Arsène Lupin is a suave gentleman rude who is able to change his disguise so artfully that he can fool people almost effortlessly. His elaborate plan and attention to detail add glamour to the masterful thief. Now, I want to read some of my favorite quotes from this book. Fun fact, I think, the page I left off in the book, my bookmark was a $10 gift card for Wendy's. I actually did annotate this a bit. For example, there's a scene in the book where he gets caught by his rival detective, which I can't pronounce his name. I'll read to you a little bit. Not at all. I have read the newspapers, and I will frankly state that you have made a very little progress. And that is the reason I have come to see you. I am entirely at your service. In the first place, the Cahorn affair was managed by you, ? And Arsène Lupin response from A to Z. He's very cheeky. I love him so much. I love how much, like, suave he is. I haven't read the entire book yet. Hopefully one of these days I can start reading it again. But, fun fact, Arsène Lupin is also the name of Joker's persona in Persona 5. Which is the reason why I was gifted it. Because I was in a Persona 5 phase, and I was so obsessed with Joker, and receiving the Arsène Lupin series was very unexpected, but not unwelcomed. But yeah, that's the Arsène Lupin. Hopefully, I might just get like an audio book and just read along so I can like concentrate and focus, but for now we'll see. I moved the camera up a little bit so you can see like my whole hairstyle too. But yeah, the next book is one of my favorite reads of all time, I think. That is Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club. Very scary guy, I know. Okay, not that scary. Fight Club is just such a great book. Like, I heard about it from an old friend one day, and I was like so interested in like, they kept bringing up like Fight Club, and the first rule of Fight Club is, you don't tell people about Fight Club. And so I was like, you know what, before I watch the movie, I really want to read the book first. Actually, one of these happened. For example, we'll get to it soon, but The Silence of the Lambs, I actually watched the movie first, and then I got the book. But for this one, I read the book first, and then I actually, I saw the movie. Now, flipping through the pages. Oh my gosh. There's a reason why I got this book immediately. It was definitely the hook of this book that got me. Tyler gets me a job as a waiter. This is the first sentence of the entire book, by the way. After that, Tyler's pushing a gun in my mouth and saying, the first step to eternal life is you have to die. I am such a sucker for this. Like, I read the first sentence at like Barnes and Noble. I'm like, oh my god, this is like already such a weird book I have to get. For a long time though, Tyler and I were best friends. People are always asking, did I know about Tyler Durden? The barrel of the gun pressed against the back of my throat. Tyler says, we really won't die. With my tongue, I can feel the silencer holes were drilled into the barrel of the gun. Most of the noise a gunshot makes is expanding gases, and there's the tiny sonic boom a bullet makes because it travels so fast. To make a silencer, you just drill the holes in the barrel of the gun, a lot of holes. This lets the gas escape, and and slows the bullet to below the speed of sound. Okay, like, genuinely just such a good hook. I think like one of the things I love, the repetition. The repetition in this book is so good. For example, let's say, especially the scene where the main character's waking up in different airports and different planes. You wake up at Crissy Field, you wake up at Boeing Field, you wake up at Lags, you wake up at Mix Field. It's so good. You wake up at Cleveland Hopkins, you wake up at SeaTac again. You're a projectionist and you're tired and angry, but mostly you're so bored. So you start by taking a single frame. Oh my god, I can't read that. I'm not gonna read that. If you know, you know. I definitely want to read the most iconic thing about this book, and that is the monologue of Fight Club. The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. I tell Walter, I fell. I did this to myself. Before the presentation, when I sat across from my boss, telling him where in the script each slide cues, and when I wanted to run the video segment, my boss says, "What do you get yourself into every weekend?" "I just don't want to die without a few scars," I say. "It's nothing anymore to have a beautiful stock body. You see those cars that are completely stock cherry right out of the dealer's showroom in 1955. I always think, what a waste." The second rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. I'm going to skip around a little bit. You don't say anything because Fight Club exists only in the hours between when Fight Club starts and when the Fight Club ends. Only two guys do a fight, one fight at a time. They fight without shirts or shoes. The fights go on as long as they have to. Those are the other rules of Fight Club. Who guys are in Fight Club is not who they are in the real world. Even if you told the kid in the copy center that he had a good fight, you wouldn't be talking to the same man. Who I am in Fight Club is not someone my boss knows. After a night in Fight Club, everything in the real world gets the volume turned down. Nothing can you off. Your word is law, and if other people break the law or question you, even that doesn't pick you off. It's so, like this, every single sentence just hooked me further, and I won't spoil it obviously, but I highly suggest, if you haven't read this book and you're into this type of stuff, to definitely give it a read. I know it's like such an iconic book and an iconic movie, just in case you haven't seen it, I think you should, it's good. But yeah, and also the plot twist got me. I was at the edge of my seat reading it. The plot twist is so good. Oh my gosh, I was like, I can't believe it. I didn't even think that this could happen, but it did. It did, so that is Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club. One of my favorite books of all time. I'm actually gonna skip around and leave Silence of the Lambs last. But this is a self-help book. there's a really good quote that I really liked from this book that I can't find for the life of me because it's been so long. So what I'm gonna do is that I guess I'm just gonna read to you just the list of how to create good habits. Why not? I mean, surely I would love to go into this deeper and explain things, but I'm sure there's a bunch of and tons of YouTube videos that I've seen and that you've probably seen that can explain it better than me, and definitely separated the sections step by step. So let's read it out. How to create a good habit, the entirety of it. The first law is to make it obvious. Fill out. Ooh, I know. What if I did some inaudible whispering? I've never tried that before. I'll see if it's any good. And if it's not, I'll cut it out of the video if it's not good. How to create good habits. Fill out the habits scoreboard. Down your good habits and become aware of them. 1, 2. Use the implementation intention. I will be aware of the next. Use habit stacking. After I create a habit, I will do it. To design your environment. Make the cue. Prepare an action you want to do and an action you need to do. Do it in a culture where your normal behavior. Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. Third law, make it easy. Reduce friction. Decrease the number of steps to continue in your good habit. Prime the environment. Prepare your environment to make future actions easier. Master the decisive moment. Optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impact. Use to roll down scale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. Automate your habits, invest in the technology, and one-time purchases that lock in future. Good read. Sorry if you hear that. My mini fridge just started in the back. The next one. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Other Stories. The hardbook cover is so nice. It's such a good texture. And the pages are golden. Let me flip around. When you open the book, you see Alice and the Mad Hatter, and the Rabbit. Alice in Wonderland is definitely one of my favorite stories of all time. Now, don't fillet me for this opinion, but I actually have a soft spot for the Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland adaptation movie. Actually, coincidentally, fun fact, I got this book while I was in Costa Rica visiting my family. We went to a mall and there was a bookstore that had this beautiful physical copy, and I don't know if they have them in Barnes and Nobles here. I think they do, but I just saw this over there and I was like, whoa, this looks really pretty. I really want it, so I got it, and I've had it in my possession ever since. Once again, I haven't read it. I've read the first few pages, but one day I do want to get to reading it. I think Alice in Wonderland is, I believe, one of those sister on the bank, and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into a book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what's the use of that, of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? Once again, I loved her at this point. I swear, like, when I was little, I was like, why does it not have pictures? Get away from me. I love Alice. So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid. Same. Whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisy, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it was so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." When she thought it was over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this, but at the time it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and looked at it and hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take it out of, and burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it, and fortunately was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. Oh my god, I love this. I love this so much. I actually didn't watch the original Disney movie. I've only seen the Tim Burton one. I know, I'm such a fake fan, but like, either way, I'm sure I'd have a lovely read if I actually put my mind to it for once. I actually sat down and read it all. But yeah, if you guys are interested, I could possibly read this to you guys. Maybe make it a daily series, maybe, but only if you guys want to. I know there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube that, a lot of people already done it, but yeah. Is silence the silence of the lambs? So, Silence of the Lambs. The Silence of the Lambs. It's a thriller. Very scary. Wasn't that scary to me? I think the main protagonist is definitely like one of my favorites so far. Silence of the Lambs. Okay, I remember why I got into it. So, I have a confession. This is the worst thing I could have ever confessed ever in my life. Don't do this, by the way. I kind of regret doing this. I was just a child and I just really didn't care. But when the kill count came out, I feel like I was like one of the first. It was back in like 2018, I believe. I don't remember. I remember I was in middle school, and I would watch all the kill count videos before I watched the movies. I did that. I know. I don't know if other people do it. But one day, the kill count, shout out to James and Denise, made the Silence of the Lambs video. And I was like packing my bags, doing something, so I was like, oh, why don't I just, click on the video and just watch it, because that's what I've been doing. But then it got really good. Like halfway through the video, I was like, actually, no. Stop. I need to actually watch this movie first and then watch the kill count, because it got so interesting. And so I did. I watched the movie. Such a good movie from beginning to end. It was so interesting. It scared me at times, but like, it was so good. I just loved the character development and the story and mystery and the climax was so good. I'm just saying, I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil anything just in case you haven't seen the movie or read the book. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this movie. It's like one of my favorite, I guess, thrillers of all time, horror movies. I actually don't know like the categories for that. Apologies. But yeah, it was a good movie. But yeah, before you guys say anything like, oh, why don't you watch the movies before you watch the kill count? Well, I don't know. It's just something I did when I was little, and I think if I didn't watch the kill counts, I would still be really afraid of thrillers. Like when I was little, I was so scared of certain like horror movies, and I couldn't watch thrillers because they were so scary. But when I watched the kill counts, I realized that wait, some of these deaths are kind of cool. I guess I'm just into that stuff. Oh my gosh. But it was just fascinated me and stuff. But yeah, after I watched the movie, I was like, I have to read the book that it came from. I think if it were up to me, I would have definitely read the book first. But, you know, I just watched the movie first because it was so interesting. But yeah, I want to read the first few paragraphs of the first chapter. Behavioral science. The FBI section that deals with serial murder is on the bottom floor of the Academy building at Quantico, I believe, half buried in the earth. Clarence Starling reached it flushed after a fast walk from Hugin's Alley on the firing range. She had grass in her hair and grass stains on her FBI Academy windbreaker from diving to the ground under fire in an arrest problem on the range. No one was in the outer office, so she fluffed briefly by her reflection in the glass door. She knew she could look all right without primping. Her hands smelled of gun smoke, but there was no time to wash. Section Chief Crawford's summons had said now. By the way, Clarice Starling, one of my favorite thriller, I think, hopefully, thriller protagonists of like all time. Next to, I forgot her name, no, and it's so iconic too, how could I have forgotten? I'm gonna ask my Alexa real quick. Hi, I just asked my Alexa about Sydney Prescott. Okay, thank you. The Scream franchise is also like another series that I love a lot. But yes, next to Clarice Starling is Sydney Prescott. She's like one of my favorite protagonists. How they both persevere, like especially Sydney Prescott perseveres in everything. Oh my god, like they need to leave her alone. But yeah, those two are my favorite protagonists of anything so far, like in these thriller, killing movies. But yeah. Okay, continuing. Let's finish the page. Oh no, my bookmark fell out. It's okay, I remember. I used a Pokemon card for the bookmark. Actually, fun fact. My mom, she was like cleaning my room and the original bookmark fell out, and the original bookmark was this crinkly little blanket. The crinkly blanket came with these like, what's it called? Cat versus Pickle little plushies that I got from a friend. This was the original bookmark for the Sands in the Land. was too big, and he had dark puffs under his reddened eyes. Everyone who could read the papers new behavioral science section was catching hell. Starling hoped Crawford wasn't on the juice. That seemed most unlikely here. I really want to read it because I do want to know like the changes between the book and the movie. I think that's like another thing that fascinates me a lot. The differences between the book and the movie. But yeah, the movie was pretty great, and this is pretty great as well. Sorry if I was really big, guys. I really don't want to spoil some of these books. Along with Alice in Wonderland and Atomic Habits, they don't need spoiling. But the rest of the other ones, I do not want to spoil. Slash, I haven't read them, but yeah, I really would like to get like an audio book for some of these because it really I have, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I read a sentence and it just doesn't process in my brain. But yeah, my honeybees. Those are the 5 books that I have in my possession that I really like. I want to know, what your thoughts are. Have you read any of them? Silence of the Lambs or Fight Club, for example. I would love to see what you think of it.